Deadly Life.
さくらちゃんが死んじゃったの？
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura was really dead? Checking for a pulse or a reaction? No, knowing Kyoko, she's checking for evidence ASAP. I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. No, Hina should rest. I should go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room. And I... Why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there, motionless behind her, while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there, unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone. Ogre? So she's dead, huh? Sakura's been killed? I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began. You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what this means. Sakura was murdered, and by someone in this very room. Is that what you were going to say? No. Whoever killed her. It's not just someone in this room. It's our friend. It was one of you! Hiro, Byakuya, Toko! One of you killed Sakura! What? You're accusing us before we've even begun the investigation? I don't need to investigate anything! Because you hated her! You hated the sight of her! One of you did it! I know it!
You know it? Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad!
What are you doing here?
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer. That's right! It's the next Monokuma file! And don't get so mad, Miss Asahina, or you're gonna ruin that lewd little face of yours. Now then, with that,
Don't hit him, Hina. Hold on. There's something I want to ask you.
Huh?
It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura!
Uh-huh?
Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again, and then...
Then I killed her? Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. The whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, whew, thank God for that. It saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that. I gotta tell ya, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her. So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is this time, I owe ya one.
Because if Sakura hits Monokuma, she's supposed to be sentenced to death, but because Sakura's so good at martial arts, that doesn't even work on her. Holy shit, loophole. Did you owe them one?
Oopsie. Before you get all pissy-potty at me, you better figure out who did it first. Cause I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
Oh, fuck you, Bear. What the hell? He owes them one? I hate him. I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind after all. Fuck off. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
とにかく
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. It's so eerie that we're saying all of this in front of the killer right now. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina? I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
まあいいだろう。
Okay, then Hina's guard number 1, but we need one more. Kyoko, that's you. Me? You're always a thorn in my side. This time, just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. Wow, I didn't want to have to say this, but go fuck yourself, Byakuya. An order?
いいわ
Fine, I'll stay behind. Ah, cool as always, not getting riled up like me, immature little me over here. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on! Before that, there's something I want to say,
なんだ。
which is... Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene. What? One of you killed Sakura!
許せない
I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
黙れ。
Don't be stupid. Our lives are just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Hina's making a big... Okay, well, it's a little bit strange for me to be thinking about this, but she's assuming that one of those three killed Sakura and they're not allowed near, right? But what would be really ironic is if someone that she didn't think killed Sakura is allowed near. But, it's not me because I was sleeping. It's not Hina because she was crying her head off. And dear God, if it's Kyoko, I will frickin' uninstall this game, I swear to God. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here! Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
決まりだ。
I won't ask you to let us all in. Just let me. Selfish as always. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway. Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, Hiro? Do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
決まりだ。
Then it's decided.
何言ってんの
Nothing's decided!
落ち着いて
I know how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to his request. But
ね
we have to find out who killed Sakura.
えそう
For those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine. I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her! Naturally. Who'd want to touch a filthy dead body? That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone, keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
いいわね
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. There's blood behind her. Wait, that's not blood, because the blood in this world is pink. Wait, there's pink up there. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's a kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death was estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noticed. However, it seems that at some point, the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood.
ね
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that?
それは
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut, with the chair inside the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow, after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right? A closed room mystery.
つまり
In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. A locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
ね
Are you curious to hear more what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
いいわ
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method, seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
そう
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
つまり
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
だけど
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have a gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
そうね
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. No way, right? No way. What do you mean by that?
つまり
They stay hidden, and when the door is open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
そうね
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
つまり
By that I mean, there's actually an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
ええ
I believe so, yes. So, when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So, there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of these 4 choices seems most likely in this case?
そうね
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. I knew it! This locker here! Some weird shit going on here. Well, let's not worry. Oh my god. That's... Oh, that's the protein enzyme thing! Huh. A lot of things going on here. How should we start? Let's start from right to left. Huh? The locker's open, and on the inside, someone seems to have been trapped inside. It's a handprint?
なぜ
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust.
そうね
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open, don't you think? No, because when we looked through the window, the locker was already open. And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group. We were here the whole time, me and Kyoko. We were in the room the entire time.
違うわ
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
ね
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
えええ
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then... what does this handprint mean? Well, preliminarily, the locker doesn't seem like a place that Sakura could fit in. I still think there's some sort of time delay going on here. Like maybe Sakura was poisoned and then the killer escaped and then Sakura locked the room by herself? I don't know. Could it be a suicide? We can't rule that out either, can we? There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? Poison or chemicals at least? So this must have originally been a bottle. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. Oh, see? Like what I said! The wine bottles. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Definitely, that came from this shelf here. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is, how'd they get those figures inside the bottle? Oh, that's a really good question, actually. I would have to guess it's during the manufacturing process, right? Custom made, fancy. It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh, yeah, maybe I have. So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit on the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are all evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. The weird thing is, why is the blood over there? And then Sakura's here without a speck of blood on her. Not even around her head, it seems like. So that is really suspect. There's a lot of circles here, so we should be careful. This looks like some kind of a wrapper. That's... Do you recognize it, Hina? Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little bit. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Could it be some sort of food poisoning? Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much? But I wanted Sakura to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper. Well, if it's any consolation, I think she got to try it before she passed. There's a blood stain from in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? She got hit there, and then she stumbled over here to sit down on her own? Her pose seems really deliberate though, don't you think? It doesn't seem like a normal dying pose at all, so that part I'm a little bit curious about. Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward on this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Physical injuries? Being poisoned is not an injury. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya.
まあいいだろう
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
当然だ
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. The clock. 1 o'clock. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon. So roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving Alter Ego? Skipping the people for last. There's some kind of a plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
それは
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments. Oh, if someone put poison into the bottle, that would make it really difficult to find out who killed her then, because they could have done it at any time. The whole time frame is thrown out of the window.
違うわ
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. Oh, did someone really switch the labels? She must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
ちょっと
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
ね
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
そう
But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. Oh. That means the can fell into this position after we broke the window. That is really strange. What does that matter?
それは
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably gonna want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. Yeah, because if the can was already like that, and then we broke in, why is the glass underneath it? The drink rolled over? It rolled on top of the glass? Seems kind of unlikely. The chair was shoved against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, there's no reason to think the door had anything special done to it. Is that it? This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window. Which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism... Okay. I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. Wait. Could the can have been on the chair? 'Cause we smashed open the window and then shoved the chair aside, and then the can rolled off the chair onto the glass. That would kind of make sense, right? This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening, and there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from inside, not from the outside. That seems to be it. Byakuya, do you have any insights?
なんだ
What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I'd better go before he crushes my soul completely. What an ass. We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. Ah, the way you say it like that just makes it sound like it's not one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. Oh! What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she'd left a note for each of them. She'd asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon, the Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. I believe you. That's probably why Hiro was so scared. Remember, we bumped into him around noon when we were putting Alter Ego in the bathroom. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this would have never happened. Hina. It's impossible to not have regrets, I know. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come over to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly.
Nanda.
There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Boy.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. Like I said before, it's getting to a stage where it's very, very difficult for me to accuse anyone. Like if I had to pick, I would pick Byakuya because he's being an ass, but being an ass is not a crime. But for Sakura to have been killed... Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight. And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right? Certainly. They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part. Then you should probably go talk with the people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gone a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. I think her getting pushier is just a sign that she's getting more familiar with us. Maybe that's what she really is like. It's just that before, we were all like, oh, how do you do? Fine day, isn't it? Isn't the weather so nice? Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Okay then, I'll be off. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. I do not want to go here. I want to go check. Please, let me check. Ugh! I want to go check the Chem Lab. Because we all know that's where it's at. But for the time being, we'll go find Toko. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds... Who's there? The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
何？何なの？
Yo, what do you want?
川さんに戻ってたんだね。ジェノサイダーじゃなくて。
あいつの話しないでよ。気分が悪くなるじゃない。せっかく楽しい気分なのに。
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
あのさ、ちょっと話があるんだけど、今いいかな。
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
なんの用よ。
What do you want? You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet you. I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said two, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was so scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Toko might not have seen her, but what about Genocide? Genocide Jack? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? And I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. I'm a little bit surprised at how apathetic these people are. Toko and Hiro. Yeah, I guess that sometimes maybe they're not, maybe their brains are not the brightest, but if we don't figure this out, we're all gonna die, so you should be at least looking like you're trying to help. And after a few seconds... What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How did you know about that? Oh, did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. How do you know that? Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. So you went. What? When did Sakura tell you that? Well... when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura? No way, I totally didn't! Why would I ever do that? He did. Yeah, definitely suspicious. The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office. I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Oh, do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets. Sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Oh! Huh? Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back in his pocket. Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash? Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked me to meet with her, but I never went. So if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Doesn't this prove already that Hiro met with Sakura? Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should go find out more about the protein can we found out on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the Chem Lab. So, where should I start? I kind of feel like we might be able to find some very, very miscellaneous clues if we visit not just the places that they tell us to go to. Like, for example, if we go to the warehouse, will we find any evidence of the whole candy thing? Maybe not. Thank you, but we don't need that. Yeah, okay, seems like maybe it doesn't help. Except for the coins. Okay, okay, sure. Let's go to the Chem Lab then.